Yeah, that's where we're at. So it's always a battle. I had about 15 minutes. I was trying to piece together what would be the best. I had a bar stool that I was thinking about putting it on. I think this is what I came up with for the best setup.
Well, we're happy to have you. We are appreciative of you being connected to video. Again, you can listen over terrestrial radio. You can stream radio. Whatever you do, we are thankful. But if you do have the chance to check out Squirrel Cam, I definitely recommend it as he peeks over the wall. All right. Do you have something like special going on?
Sure.
Or, I mean, I don't want to, I didn't know you were going to be on location, so I don't want to ask, much like I did with Derek Ansley yesterday. I don't want to put you in a bad spot, DA. Can I ask you a yes or no question?
DA?
I do.
You call him DA. Okay.
I do, yeah. Are you on some sort of a mission?
Retreat. I would say this is a retreat.
Oh.
Like a nice fun, it's a nice fun little 2-day stretch. We're doing some golf at a great golf course, and we're going to have some fun. We got some nice stuff planned. It's going to be a nice couple of days for Old T in a beautiful spring weekend. That's what Old T's got going on.
Well, you earned it with your performance last night.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you. So I have said this, and I said this last night to Hunter, who's done a great job. Our prep stuff in Madison is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the coverage that we do with the dean, who knows everything about everything high school sports wise. I couldn't believe the game was going on. I'm in Sun Prairie last night. It's about 5:00. The game in Middleton starts at 6. Jesse and Dennis's pregame coverage starts at 5:45. I can't believe there's a game. We're getting hit with a hailstorm. Like hail is pelting. Eleanor's game gets canceled. All of the Sun Prairie stuff is canceled. So I'm just assuming, all right, there's going to be a game. I text Jesse, hey, what's the deal? He goes, sunny here, game on. And I'm thinking, what? So I get my Chevy Tahoe from Zimbrick, who is a proud partner of last night's event. And I start trudging over there, and one of the roads is closed. So I get there, I'm talking right before tip. And I don't know where Jesse is set up because it's over in Middleton. So I don't know that as like I would at Sun Prairie. There's a press box. And Jason, if I'm telling you, we were, I got the bad wheel. Well, you got to hike up stadium steps and no problem. But not
on your Tahoe. On you, you got a bad wheel.
Yes, the Tahoe wheels are
important.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a key. That's key. Yep.
Great drop, Jesse. And if it was, the service team over at Zimbrick and on Sun Prairie is phenomenal.
That's why they sponsor the prep coverage here on ESPN Wisconsin.
I look up, and they're like, "Oh, there's your broadcast team." I look, and it looks like they're in the middle of those storms where the reporters are like flying. There's a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and you found the highest spot in Middleton. I think it's the highest spot in the whole city.
Granddad's Bluff.
It is. So as I'm walking up, my buddy Timmy Cleary, his group is a big partner. He's Mr. Middleton. I'm walking up with him and talking. And as we walk up, the national anthem starts playing. So, we stand there, we're, doing our thing. And Tim's like, oh, here it is. So thanks, Tim. I'm walking, and Jesse and Hunter look disheveled. But all of a sudden, right after the national anthem, there was a paper tornado. Jesse, for some reason, thought that because he's in the highest peak of Middleton, the papers from all of his prep and all of the papers that I was supposed to have, they go flying out Middleton. I think it's Otto Breitenbach Stadium. It goes flying everywhere. Otto Breitenbach, my great Aunt Gladys, who lived on Breeze Terrace, who is where we would go and stop after games. So it all comes together. But the papers go flying.
Well, wait a minute. Right, no. You never said what Aunt Gladys's connection was to Otto.
She was great friends with Otto Breitenbach, and she used to talk about Otto Breitenbach.
She was.
Pals, okay.
Don't you imply anything about my Aunt Gladys, Jason. That is not where you need to live. I don't know. I didn't ask any. They were family friends. God, you are a real dirtbag.
No, I didn't say thing.
Real dirtbag.
Jesse, was he implying things about my Aunt Gladys?
Team Glotto,
Yes.
yeah.
He's implying, don't you dare sue her, my Aunt Gladys. So anyways, by the way, put Aunt Gladys up because I got a story about her and Vitaly Pisetsky that'll blow your mind. That's another story for another day.
Can't wait.
Okay.
So anyways, the papers go flying.
A lot of friends for Aunt Gladys.
So we are now, Dennis is down smartly in the enclosed press box with a scorebook, being a pro. I get up, never done a baseball game in my life, as you could probably tell as you're listening. And the game starts, and Jesse has no papers. There's nothing. Luckily, the Middleton youngsters crew, the little leaguers and whatnot, they go around Otto Breitenbach Stadium and are grabbing all the papers and bring them back up to Jesse. So shout out to Middleton's youth baseball program. Jesse starts announcing the game. Jump in, Jesse, as you would.
Okay, so first of all, I do want to thank those kids because I didn't get a chance to do that last night because they delivered the papers back in the middle of the bottom of the first inning. So they handed the papers off and ran back to their seats wherever they were. Those kids saved our broadcast last night.
No, they didn't.
Yes, we were dead in the water without.
Were. I knew Sun Prairie inside out.
You knew nothing about Middleton. I had all my Middleton notes were gone. I had nothing.
Jesse, hold up. I knew about the guy that used to catch their 3-hitter, who's a GRB kid, and he's a really good player. He's going to play football. He's a football guy.
Tyler Vogt.
Okay?
Yeah.
Vogt.
Yeah, I know so much about him. I don't know his name.
I knew
Last
his name was
Vogt.
Vogt. I didn't know his first name. But then I knew that their pitcher's a stud, and he dealt a heck of a game. And I knew what happened 2 days before in this exact game.
We wouldn't have been able to say who was batting. We wouldn't have been able to say anything about them. It would have been a debacle.
It would have not been good.
Those kids saved our broadcast last night. Those four kids that delivered those papers. I can't believe it was angelic how they just appeared in the bottom of the first. No, for me it was.
Angelic.
Because these papers fly away, and now I wasn't just careless. The national anthem was going on, and I set my phone and our big roll of tape that kind of always holds everything down, set that all on top of the papers during the anthem. We're standing there, hand over the heart, and the biggest gust of wind of the night comes blowing through. My phone hits the railing of this level 3 press box. It should have gone over, and I should have had to stop at Verizon on the way home last night. It ended up falling in the corner of our platform.
You're telling me the windstorm moved your phone? It flew your phone.
My phone,
it caught the paper and lifted up the phone.
The phone flew, and it hit the railing, and it landed in the corner by the camera where Hunter was also trying to hold onto the camera because he's trying. That almost blew over the side of the press box.
That was something else, too. Hunter was battling. He was battling. I was
going to say the video was a little shaky. Now I know why.
Baseball's a radio sport anyway, Jason. Everybody knows.
Some folks were saying it was the Goodyear blimp coverage of the Middleton.
You guys were way up there. There's no as
it
one
was
of
the
the
Mount Everest
viewers.
it was the Mount Everest of Middleton. Yes, last night.
Matt.
So Jason. Anyways, we get to the start of the game, and obviously the weather threw things off. It was the game had gotten postponed slightly, an hour and a half.
That's called a delay.
Jesse starts announcing the wrong team. He's Sun Prairie's kid Sogstad, their leadoff hitter. He gets a base hit, and he's saying, "Hey, Guerrero with a base hit." And I'm like, there ain't no Guerrero on Sun Prairie East. And then Jesse's looking like, "Oh, shucks, I said the wrong team. I had the Middleton team up." The game's in Middleton, bro. And he's announcing Middleton's kid. That's a fair assessment.
I had no notes. They all blew away right before first pitch. I was going straight from memory when I had written the lineups down 20 minutes ago.
And they're all Cardinals, by the way.
At least I
There's
had
a lot of Cardinals.
And the Sun Prairie jerseys, let's talk to somebody about those because you couldn't see the numbers on them at all from where we were.
Just wait a second. You're going to get after Stelzy?
Yeah.
The great embroiderer? Because you don't like his jerseys that they're putting?
Stelzy, the great embroiderer.
He is the great embroiderer.
If we're going to call another Sun Prairie East baseball game someday, which Lord knows we need a do-over after how last night went, we need some legible numbers if we're going to be calling it from Mount Middleton or wherever we were up top there last night.
Yeah, I honestly, and this is not to toot our own horn, I thought we did a fantastic job with the broadcast. I do. Now, some people might disagree, but for the circumstances we were thrown in, I loved it. I had a ton of fun. It was great. The only thing that sucked was that Middleton won from my end. But for Middleton, it was a
way to be unbiased.
Well, I said going in I was going to be biased. I didn't wear the Sud Prairie Cardinal hat.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. I wore a Pickler hat because I wanted to promote Pickler. But also, well, it's true. Now, today, I got the Cardinals, the hat that we had last night.
Not that we can see it.
What do you mean? Right there. See?
Not from that angle.
By the way, Stelzy, the great embroiderer, this is one of his deals. So lay off of Stelz, Jesse.
So which inning was it? Going back, and if you missed the game, Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Oh yeah. By the way, Hunter, I want to say this. Hunter is great. He's great with the video. I don't know how to put links in stuff. That's a weakness of mine. So I put out that I'm going to be doing the game. I'm excited. And I said, Hunter, where do I put? He goes, just put ESPN Madison YouTube. So I said, you want to do that so you can link it. He puts the tweet out there, and there ain't no links anywhere to be found on that link.
Yeah, somebody else had to swoop in and post a link for you.
In fairness to Hunter, I had plans to tweet this out from the Wilde and Tausch accounts.
That would have been nice.
All this stuff. I couldn't take my phone out of my pocket because it would have meant I had to take a hand off of the binder and the papers after we got them back.
You act like we were in the middle of a tornado. It was windy. It wasn't blowing.
Did you see the news? There was a tornado in Wisconsin last night.
Indeed.
We were kind of in the middle of a tornado. It wasn't the tornado.
How heavy is your phone? Your phone is not
heavy enough, clearly.
This was not picking up rocks and firing them at our face. It wasn't that windy.
Again, as I look at the replay, which you can find on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, it is definitely Skycam. I mean, it is. You are up there.
Up in the 400s.
If we could have found a higher mountain, we would have went there. And this was, for a second, I thought we were going to have to get oxygen tanks.
And nice. And then secondly, all you have to do is watch like one at bat, and the camera moves in a manner that clearly is not like Hunter, being jittery. It is the wind taking the. So I believe, Jesse, that his phone was also uplifted by the wind.
The phone didn't fly away. This wasn't like a helicopter phone.
You wouldn't know. You barely got there on time for the game.
I got there right on time.
Good one.
Good one. Yeah.
So who was the player that? And I'm quoting now. This was from the color analyst. I don't know if it got him in the you-know-whats. That might have been my favorite part of the broadcast. Turned out he got hit in the foot, by the way. Farther down his body than the you-know-whats.
Jesse, I've learned something about Jesse's play-by-play. If he doesn't know, he still rolls with it. He will continue on and say, there's a pinch hitter up. Guy hits a rope down the left field line. He says it's Troy Turk, a buddy of mine. He played football at Wisconsin. His kid plays first base. He hits a liner down the left. He goes, Turk, what a liner. Turk's a right-handed hitter. We had a freshman kid in that's batting
again.
Left-handed.
Had the lineups, it blew away. Didn't get the lineup back.
We got the lineups back.
I didn't. No, I had a different sheet I couldn't look at because of that. Also,
but
if the great embroiderer had some more clearer numbers, it would have been easier to see it wasn't Turk.
Wow, you're getting after Stelzy. It's unbelievable. All in all, man, it was a ton of fun. But the catcher for Sun Prairie gets hit. And I saw the ball, and I thought it hit him in the shin/foot. But Jesse immediately thinks he got hit in the you-know-whats. And the kid goes down. And the kid's tough. As I said, tough as a $2 steak. Catchers are tough. He is a really good catcher.
Uh-huh.
And he is laying there in misery. And then I said, umps and the catcher's got a good relationship. If an ump gets drilled, the catcher will go out and give him a minute. The ump did the same thing for him. he got hit in the shin, but Jesse made it out like he got hit in the you-know-whats, and he didn't get hit in the you-know-whats.
Well, not all catchers are tough, I can tell you that. What
does that mean?
Because I was a catcher, and you don't think I'm tough.
You were a catcher?
You caught?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you got that stocky backside that you're looking for in a catcher.
Thank you very much. It's one of the nicest things you've ever said to me.
I know.
Yes, I do love the fact that Jesse got that play right. It reminds me of the old story about Harry Carey, who obviously, like Jesse, a great play-by-play man.
Oh, yeah.
Not paying attention during a game, or maybe it had a couple of beverages, and blurting out on WGM, "Why is Kingman hitting left-handed?"
That literally is exactly what happened last night.
Tough circumstances. Those were the toughest circumstances.
So Jesse,
that I've ever called a game in.
Normally, I don't want to correct but it was such a big moment because it was one of Sun Prairie's last opportunities to tie the game.
It was the right thing for you to correct it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I don't like doing that, but that was a case where I felt like.
I also think.
In fairness, Turk is a big kid. He plays first base. This is not a bigger kid. You know what I mean?
I think in normal circumstances, we would have been able to clearly identify that right away. But because we were in the 400 level, because the wind was flying, and I didn't have an actual scorecard to keep track of anything, and I was like sifting through the papers was hard enough because you tried to flip one over and it would just go and like rip. So tough night.
So obviously Strelzy is embroidery royalty. It does sound like maybe these jerseys were like those Packers throwbacks where you couldn't read the numbers. They had like the number in a circle.
You don't put that on Stells. Put that on who designed the jersey.
Wait a minute. I'm setting something up here.
Oh.
Well, is he the great embroiderer or the great benefactor?
So Strelzy is embroidery royalty. As we learned yesterday, if you reference a restaurant and say royalty that has ice cream,
multiple layers to
I'm still dumbfounded by
confusion. But when it comes to windows, Gina Della is the queen, and the royalty, of course, is Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors. We could have used the window last night, stopped Jesse's phone from supposedly flying away. There is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends at the end of May, so visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Looking at the live chat replay, I see our guy Clayton, Packer fan, Total Access, chimed in, watched the game with you guys. He even points out after Middleton took a 2-1 lead that the wind looks like it's really picking up there. Again, defending Jesse. And Levi jumped in there. Levi suggested that you and I call a game together, Tausch. I have no play-by-play skills, but maybe a 3-man booth might be fun.
So let's do this. Next year, the game will be in Sun Prairie, the same thing. I think Jesse's the play-by-play, and that we both do color commentary.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
Jason could be our field room. He could be our Sophia Minard down in the dugout.
Yeah. We get get you a Gatorade shower afterwards.
You love interviews. Tell them the other stories.
Telling stories.
I love that. That's an additional layer to. But in all seriousness, you guys did a great job. If you are a Sun Prairie or a Middleton fan, or just a fan of high school baseball, it's a really good game. And if you want to watch it back, you can find it on our YouTube channel for ESPN Madison. We will get into the Packers and the offseason and everything else that we have neglected so far today. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Hey there, Brewers fans. We've got a new way for you to watch the Brew Crew this season. FanDuel Sports Network. And now there are more ways to watch the Brewers than ever before. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action. Or, new this season, Brewers Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit GetMyHomeTeams.com to learn more.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Two Wisconsin icons are teaming up on a reworked classic. Cousin Subs and U-Zingers are proud to introduce the all-new Fried Bologna Sub, featuring U-Zingers fried bologna, bacon, American cheese, onions, pickles, mayo, and mustard on fresh-baked Italian bread. And that's not all. Pair your fried bologna with a creamy cupcake shake topped with whipped cream and rainbow sprinkles. Now that's a better combination. Order both in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Continuing with we hear the birds in the background, and you look like you're in a bird cage. So this is a really interesting scene and a little distracting, frankly. Tausch, I don't want to get into this now. I want to be able to spend a little more time on it. But I did ask DA, as I call him, about Jair Alexander yesterday, and him sharing the fact that that he texts him every single morning. I before we discuss the significance of that, I did write for Channel3000.com about how they have other options if ultimately it doesn't work out. Do you like what this team has done, not just at corner, because we'll get into that, but across the board in terms of the options they have? Like, they have options on the offensive line. They have options at wide receiver. They have options at safety. We were talking to Ryan Downard yesterday. I mean, they've got all kinds of guys that can play and did play next to Xavier McKinney. Because I'm wondering if for you, having played in the league, you view that as they've done a great job of creating a bunch of depth, or they got a lot of guys that are basically the same and they don't have enough studs.
Well, I think the goal is that you have these young players develop into studs, and you always want competition. That's been a cycle thing. But yeah, at some point, and I could go with two different analogies here. You kind of talked about the options, and you get your 2 hole cards, and you hope to have more options. You don't want to be just shooting for a gut shot or a gut shot straight, or you're hoping for this. You want to have options, but I think it's more going back to my days on the dairy farm back in Millador. Milk is great, man. Like, I think everybody, I love milk. Farmers love milk. That's how you make your money. But at some point, you know where you get that good cash? The cream, the butter fat, and that rises up, and that's where you make that great ice cream. That's where you make butter, or you get all the good stuff. Eventually you gotta have some players rise to the top and be difference makers, because it's nice. You can't have difference makers at every spot. Eventually, with the salary cap, it just doesn't work. You need to have your guys, and you need to have a good chunk of your bulk tank is going to be milk, but you got to have that cream that comes up to the top that brings that sweet butter / championship. Some of these guys, if it's Evan Williams, Xavier McKinney was cream. He rose to the top. Now you have these young guys that had some nice, you started churning a little bit. You got the butter churn out. I feel like this porch that I'm on is perfect for a butter churn. You butter churn a little bit and you start developing, and then all of a sudden it turns. Evan Williams would be a guy that I think you're looking at making that jump. Now, if you don't, and you keep sitting there, what happens to milk if it doesn't mature? You have a shelf life.
Yeah, curdles.
And you don't want that. So at some point, you need to continue to bring in new milk. You got to continue that process. And sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it rises to the top. And I think for the Green Bay Packers, you want to continue to give yourself guys that are in the mix to be that cream. Sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't. You're not going to have a bulk tank full of cream. That's not what we're looking for, but we need more cream to rise to the top of that big, beautiful bulk tank that we call the Green Bay Packers.
God, you love that analogy.
Well,
I mean, is
good.
there anything you love more than that? Love all your analogies. Ice cream on top of ice cream. We all know that there's been some classics. Is the bulk tank cream rising to the top and the butter fat, is that the GOAT? Is that the GOAT of Tausch analogies?
So I don't know if it's my best, but it's my favorite because it takes me to a time of yesteryear. It takes me back to the days when I'm kicking field goals between 2 silos and I'm playing baseball on the farm with the Schmidt kids and, hitting turnaround jumpers over a Leland tractor. Like, those days are great core memories for me. And the bulk tank is what drove those memories. The bulk tank is what feeds families, farm families. That's why I enjoy it so much.
And the smell of manure is the smell of money, and Grouch the cat chasing away the mice.
Catching the duck before Thanksgiving.
Aunt Gladys hanging out with whoever she was with.
Apparently Vitaly Pasetsky and Otto Breitenbach.
My mom is gonna have some serious questions about what the hell I'm talking about today. I feel fairly certain about that.
Well, I'm glad you could take that walk down memory lane with the bulk tank. You can both live in the past and in the future when you talk about Hard Rock Casino, because we were just there last week, and we're going to be there again next month.
We are, and man, we love our new partnership with Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, the options, diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe, Council Oak Steaks and Seafood, Bricked Italian Kitchen, and I am excited to try that UU Noodle Bar. I love a good noodle bar in casinos. I love them. I do. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, right off I-90. I think it took Jesse and Jesse drives really slow, a little under an hour to get down to Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90. Big old, beautiful, bold, purple gold guitar. You'll see it off the left-hand side on your way to Rockford.
It's amazing how a week ago you were so complimentary of how well I drove that day, and now a week later,
interesting.
Well, you did try.
Slow driver.
No, Jesse, my point is,
Didn't tweet out
if
the
you
link.
If you really
Lied
wanna
about his
push
phone.
if you really want to push it, you can get there maybe a little bit less than an hour. It was all that was. I wasn't a shot at you. You want to be. I want to be in a car with a safe, conservative driver. I'm not interested in Michael Andretti taking me to Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Well, it'd be kind of cool. Get there in 25
You're going to
minutes
turn
or
down
so.
a ride with Andretti to Hard Rock? I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I can't, I'm not
Only
fitting
if
in one. I'm
Andretti
not
agreed
fitting in
not
one
to
of
stop to pee.
I'll tell you this. I mean, if it's a normal like Chevy Tahoe, yeah. If it's one of those Formula One cars, unfortunately, I think old T. That's not a good fit for me.
Not with that bad wheel, and we're not talking about the vehicle. All right. So I want to get into what Derek Ansley had to say yesterday about Jair Alexander when I gave him the opportunity to do basically what Jeff Hafley did, which was say, I'm not answering that question, Wilde, sorry. And he didn't. He gave us a little bit of insight. I also want to get into, and I know Jesse's got some stuff lined up audio-wise, this Caleb Williams story with the Bears and what he said in this book. I am very intrigued to get Tausch's take on that. Plus, we've got trivia and the Packers revoking the season tickets of a guy who says he was not attending games but selling his tickets because his parents were both ill and was not able to come to the games. All those stories still ahead, plus trivia. Lots to do with the birdcage, Mark Tauscher. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide with Leslie Smith and new general manager from Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, Craig Broke. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon.
Nice to be here. Now, if people are out there, the sun is getting warmer, the temperatures are rising, and they want to start your next adventure of riding, Craig, what can you tell me about what that dealership out in Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc has to offer?
Well, when you purchase any new 2024 or 2025 Street Glide or Road Glide Harley-Davidson motorcycle and pick up your Super Promo, you choose from a free install of a Stage 1 upgrade, a day tripper, or slip-on exhaust. There's no better way to start your riding season with your bike today to hit the open road just the way you imagined.
Sounds like a fantastic offer. Now, after the purchase is made and you go and you take advantage of this incredible offer, Leslie, there's lots of events that Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has cooking up. Let's begin with May 17th.
Yes, May 17th is our Bikes, Blessings, and the VFW. So you ride with us from New Berlin. It's the VFW post in New Berlin, 5716. It's a bike blessing benefiting the VFW. A day of riding provided by the Rock River chapter, food, live music, and there's just so much more that we have to offer at the dealership. Can't make the ride? Stop on by for individual bike blessings provided by the Christian Motorcycle Association.
That sounds like a fantastic event. Again, that's May 17th. But, Leslie, the fun doesn't stop on May 17th. What do you got coming up exactly a week after that?
Yes. So our fun, I love doing this ride, our annual honor celebration. On May 24th, we have our annual honor celebration. Join us for a day of remembering and honoring our nation's heroes with a ride to Wisconsin Memorial Park, as well as a car and bike show, live music, food, local vendors, and us, of course. A great day for the whole family.
You had me, Leslie, at live music and food. Again, that's at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Let them, Wisconsin Harley-Davidson of Oconomowoc, fill up your summer with riding adventures. For more information, go to wishd.com. That's wishd.com, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. Looking to simplify your everyday banking? Our checking and savings accounts offer the tools you need, plus the friendly, simply local service you deserve. Enjoy competitive rates, 24/7 online and mobile banking, and real people ready to help right here in your community. Whether your checking balance is at midnight or stopping by one of our branches at noon, Great Midwest Bank has you covered with a variety of new and improved account options designed for your unique needs. Great Midwest Bank, simply local and member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So the defensive coaches talked yesterday, wrapping up our assistant coach access for the offseason. And I'll tell you this, DeMarcus Covington's an impressive dude. I don't know if he'll get anything more out of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt or not, but he made a very good first impression. And for a guy who played wide receiver at the Division I AA level, to be coaching defensive line and have had success doing so intrigues me greatly. But I did want to, and look, I know I can be annoying. I'm aware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I can't, I have to do my job, and the Jair Alexander situation is part of this equation with this team this offseason. It's not the only storyline, but it is a storyline. And obviously, when I asked Jeff Hafley, what would it mean for this defense if you guys get things worked out and Jair is back, and he punted, I get it. I understand why he wouldn't have wanted to answer it. I would have liked him to have answered it. I thought it was interesting that he didn't when it was framed in a way that he could say, if it happens, we're obviously a better team when we have them, and then we've also got other guys we really like. But he just punted instead. So when I asked Derek Ansley yesterday, DA, about it, I know you don't like nicknames.
No, I like nicknames. You haven't even met the guy. The first conversation you had with him.
Derek Ansley was on the staff last year. I've met him. DeMarcus Covington's the guy I don't know.
DC. Okay,
Well, I didn't call
that's
him
fair.
that. I don't know what he goes by.
Oh, I thought you were okay.
No, it's DA last year.
That's better. Okay, that's
Defensive
better.
passing game coordinator,
I thought you were
cornerbacks
talking
coach.
about Covington. Okay, all right.
So it's still annoying.
Kind of
but
like messing up which leadoff hitter you're talking about, huh?
No, not even close.
Last name vote. But I didn't want to put him in a bad spot, and so I said, "Look, can I ask you a yes or no question? I don't want to put you in a bad spot." He said, "Sure." I said, "Have you had consistent contact with Jair throughout the offseason?" And he actually said, "Yeah, I text him every day, every morning."
Yeah, that's what you said.
Might be a Bob Moore quote. He did not actually say that, but that's where Tausch gets his from the NFLPA. It might be a Bible passage or a scripture passage, but I thought it was telling, Tausch, that coaches at least, I don't know about Goody. I don't know. I would assume he and Russ Ball have had their interactions with John Thornton, who is Jair's agent. Okay. But I think it's telling that I know Matt LaFleur has stayed in contact with him as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's telling that they have tried to keep that going and keep him part of the team. He is, after all, as Goody said, still on our roster right now. How do you view what the coaches have done based on those pieces of information with a guy that we still don't know what the end game will end up being?
Yeah, I think it's obviously important to keep a relationship with guys, and whether you're playing. I mean, I still text with Campy, and that's been 15 years. There is that bond, but let's not kid ourselves. I'm not texting James Camp he's not texting me. You're going to, when you have this time of uncertainty, I think one of the big things you want to make sure the player feels is loved. And when a player's trying to figure out, it's going to come down to money. It always does. But in this case, there's also the feeling of, well, they want me. And the money tells you that they want you, but then there's also the communication and the relationship that you need to forge and continue to nurture in order to keep players to be at their best. And I think one of the most underrated parts of coaching, there's a lot of coaches have drills, a lot of coaches have a lot of knowledge on things and they can adjust. But I think one of the most important things is understanding who your player is and what drives them. What does this player need? I liked getting a kick into Keister. I thought that was fine. Some guys, it's got to be all pat into Keister. You need to figure out, what does this player need? How can I get the best out of them? And the only way to do that is to understand their personality and understand what makes them tick, the why of why they're doing what they're doing. And good coaches now, you have to take that up another notch in order to get that to the point where you're going to get the best out of the players that may or may not even be on your team. And I'll be curious if Jair ends up getting released and goes somewhere else, will DA keep sending those text messages? I would venture to say no, probably because there's tampering rules and other things.
Sure.
But that's just the nature of the beast. That doesn't mean they won't keep their relationship. But make no mistake about it, what it tells me is that the coaching staff would love to see Jair Alexander back.
That's what
it also tells me that with the length of what's going on and with the roster bonus, with workouts and things like that, it must be stickier than maybe we think. And I think Jair is probably looking at this and saying, I'll give, but I'm not going to give everything. And I think the Packers are looking at it like, this is what we're going to do. If you are fine with that, great. If you're not, we are fine moving on. That to me is where this situation is at.
Well, if they do move on, and again, I understand that, believe me, because I talk about it all the time across all of our different shows, so I get tired of it too. I've never quite, and tell me if I'm not, I'm being palmy, prisoner of the moment here. I don't remember a player on the roster under contract, a saga like this going on as long as it has, in which it's not him holding out. Like, that's not what this is. This isn't him holding out and not showing up because he wants his contract adjusted. It's literally the team agreeing to parameters with his agent that he is not coming in for the offseason program because they don't want him to blow his Achilles and be on the hook for his salary for this year. And him not, like, you always say that Tomlin says, I want volunteers, not hostages. I wouldn't go so far to say that he's a hostage, but he's in kind of a weird situation, and it just doesn't end. We're on the verge of June here, and he's still here. Do you remember anything like this?
I don't. I think here's the scenario, and again, you can only words are great, they're cute, and that we talk about it, but the actions here tell me that there is at least some softening on both sides, because if it was the case where Jair felt as if the Packers are doing him wrong and not giving him an opportunity to go somewhere else, and he doesn't have any interest in being back here, his agent would have him at the doors of 1265 today. Let me in. I'm under contract. I'm going in. And if you're not, get rid of me. That would be the I need to make a move play. And Green Bay would then have to release him. Or figure something else out. They're not going to pay him the agreed upon salary in the contract. That's not going to happen. So it tells me that the lines of communication have been good, and at least Jair's team feels as if things are trending in a way that could end to a result that makes him some money and makes him at least somewhat whole. And until that happens, there is no deadline trigger point monetarily. And when you don't have that in this league, things drag out. So the old deadline spur action bit is 100% true. The thing here is there really ain't a deadline until training camp comes. And even then, Green Bay could say, you're good. We're not going to fine you. But then there is this money component that Jair, if I'm Jair and I'm looking at it like I need to be 80% to get a $500,000 workout bonus, you're gonna have to tie me down and not let me get in there to get that $500K.
Right. All right. If it doesn't work out and he doesn't come back, and this is what I wrote about at Channel 3000 today, look, they've got a lot of young guys that they're intrigued by, right? Kalen King, DA was very excited about him yesterday. We saw Carrington Valentine at the Tundra Trio during the draft. He did a Q&A with Strofe. I like his potential, and I like what he's done so far. The guy started 22 games in the NFL, including 3 playoff games. So he's in a good spot. They did draft Micah Robinson in the 7th round. They've got this kid out of UNLV, Jonathan Baldwin, who plays safety. He plays corner. He's a safety. He's a corner. He's a breath mint. But this is really going to be about how good Nate Hobbs is, who they've paid to come in and be a versatile inside-out piece. We asked Jeff Hafley about him. We will hear what Jeff Hafley had to say and get Tausch's thoughts on him because he got a contract that says he's a starter. I am very curious to see if he makes the jump that some of the other free agents they've signed that didn't have huge proven track records wound up becoming in the Goody era. We'll talk about him next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, 3rd deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Knick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Knick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom-made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Calling all collectors, the Wisconsin Card Show is back May 16th through the 18th at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Whether you're into sports cards, Pokemon cards, or chasing down autographs from Wisconsin sports stars, this is the place to be. Meet Churio, Contreras, Terrain, and more legends from Wisconsin's hometown team. Don't miss this 3-day event packed with vendors, memorabilia, and must-see moments. Tickets and full details at wisconsincardshow.com. That's wisconsincardshow.com.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
When it comes to free agent signings, obviously there are seismic signings, right? Like,
I had a quick question for you before we hit this seismic signings.
Well, this definitely is not one of them.
Four Seasons room or screened-in porch as a Wisconsinite? You pick one.
What's the difference?
Screened-in porch, you're not going out there in the winter.
Yeah, screened-in porch has like the air flowing through it all the time, as opposed to the Four Seasons room.
Did you really just ask what's the difference?
I don't know what a Four Seasons room is. I don't have one.
So like a sunroom, for some people know it as a Four Seasons room, where it's like, I don't know, it's separate, not separate from the house. I don't know how to describe that.
It's almost as if it's hard to know what it is.
It's an added-on room that like you can close a door to, and it's like separate if it gets a little colder, a little warmer,
but it's
depending
not
on the season.
Insulated like a regular room is?
Correct.
Yeah, a little different, yeah.
No, it's
it's 4 seasons, but you're going to freeze your ass off in the winter
you need a
if you're in
fireplace.
it?
You're not going to do a 4-season room and not put a fireplace in there. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you can do a fireplace. Can you do a fireplace in – well, you're not going to go out there in the winter then. And actually, I would argue a 4 seasons, the best time is the winter. Because you got that cold air, you'll get all snuggly with the fireplace. I think here's the deal, and why I asked that. If you're on a lake, you go screened-in porch. I don't think you do screened-in porch unless you're a lake. Tell me I'm crazy.
So are you – all right, a few things. First of all, we'll talk about Nate Hobbs another time because it's not a seismic free agent signing. Although Jesse did get the audio for me. Are you on a lake? Are you in a 4 seasons room, or are you in a screened-in porch?
It's a screened-in porch and a screened-in chair, or a caged-in chair.
It is.
So yes.
Does it swing? Does it swivel? The chair, not the screened-in room.
I would not sit on a swivel chair that was like hanging. I'm not pulling that root out of the
we
thing.
can see that it's not attached to the ceiling.
You asked, and obviously if it was, I would tell you. So I don't know.
I didn't. It doesn't swivel.
No.
You're not sitting in a Christmas ornament.
You don't have a base chair, bro.
I know, and now
thank you.
And
for
I already knew it
clarifying.
wasn't hanging from the ceiling because it wouldn't be hanging for the ceiling much longer.
Rude, but fair.
Okay. I would like to talk about Nate Hobbs.
I don't like screened-in porches, for the record. I'm out on those.
That's okay. I think unless you're on a lake, because a screened-in porch, realistically,
do you have a dog?
There's a dog barking back there. Yeah, might be a sign. 3 months. I mean, realistically, a screened-in porch. What are you getting? 3 to 4 months? Is that about what you got?
Probably, if that. Because then it also, like, you don't want to be out there in July when it's too hot. Like, the screened-in porch just isn't a good. I've never enjoyed my time sitting or like sleeping in a screened-in porch area.
I feel like for Wisconsinites, the screened, and I know there's a ton of people that love screened because it keeps the bugs out and all, and that's all great. But yeah, it's gonna get too hot in the middle of summer, and then it's gonna be too cold in the middle of winter. So you're really in a conundrum.
Okay. That was
so funny.
I don't think you got enough sleep last night.
So much better than discussing one of the Packers' most important free agent signings of the offseason.
I didn't tell you to not talk about Hobbs.
Well, now it's 10:02.
You straight up cut off the conversation about Nate Hobbs to ask about screened-in
before we
porches.
get into Hobbs.
You did cut that off. That was on you.
It was a simple question. I didn't mean for you guys to go into a 5-minute diatribe about how you didn't know what a 4 seasons room was. I literally asked the difference, and if you think a screened-in porch in the state of Wisconsin,
wouldn't you say that was making that the conversation topic? Wouldn't you asked a question?
Yeah, it brought it up. Yeah.
I brought it up. We'll get to Nate Hobbs at some point. I do want to get to this Caleb Williams story, which is I don't know if it's as big of a deal in my mind as it seems to be in others. I'm curious what Jesse thinks. I'm curious what Tausch thinks. We're curious what you think. We'll find out during the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
It's a home run!
But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros.
At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years.
And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time.
You're out!
Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. With summer just around the corner, Wisconsin Harley-Davidson is gearing up for another year of riding adventures. Join them May 17th for their annual Bikes, Blessings, and the VFW. Start the summer off with a bike blessing on May 24th. Their annual honor celebration is happening with a ride to Wisconsin Memorial Park to place flags to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Both events will have live music, food, and so much more. For more information, go to WISHD.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are something else, man.
Thanks.
You're welcome. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Because now we'll get to Nate Hobbs another time, because now you have sparked a conversation in the YouTube comments.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Turns out it's a popular topic.
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes maybe, and I'm going to tease something too. Jesse has audio of, and we've been doing this show together. How many years? About 9. Is that right?
Yes, 9th anniversary coming up.
Jesse's been with us 6 or 7 of those 9. He's done a great job. We appreciate all of his efforts. He said something on the broadcast last night, and I am not being hyperbolic when I say this. It is the dumbest thing an announcer has ever said in the history of any play-by-play sports, ever. And I'm not sure when Jesse wants to play that, but I don't think there's going to be. And Jason, I don't think you're going to disagree with my assessment of that. So that's a tease. It will be a hour tease, hour and a half tease, whatever it is. But it is the dumbest thing. So for everybody listening, it's going to be worth your while.
We're going to play some of our greatest hits from last night's baseball broadcast during the 11 o'clock hour of today's show. You can stick around and stay tuned to hear the hits.
Got him in the you-know-whats. Also, don't forget Tausch prank calls, which I wrote down 2.5 weeks ago. Make sure I think it was in the aftermath of the Shadur Sanders situation. By the way, I just like to state for the record, I know you know what you're doing.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you knew that.
Your stream of consciousness can be at times challenging.
Totally agree.
And
totally agree.
I do feel as the shepherd of this program, I do feel a responsibility to not simply follow the stream of consciousness
of
you. And I thought the Jair stuff and then getting into Nate Hobbs, who we haven't talked about very much, was worthwhile.
No,
but
and Jason, in fairness, the Nate Hobbs stuff, I think, because it wasn't like the big sexy splash, I think it's been one of the more underreported pieces of the offseason.
Okay, so we agree.
Before OTAs, no, I definitely want to learn more about him. You know, I think everybody is kind of assuming he's going to be a slot corner. This is what it's going to happen, and I want to learn more about him. So I wasn't poo-pooing it, but it was the end of an hour. So I'm not going to get into how my mind works. It's a dangerous place.
I don't want to.
But the Nate Hobbs, I am definitely intrigued with why they signed him and what they think.
Well, we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk about him. OTAs are still a couple weeks away.
DP in Madison. Yeah, screened-in porch for a hot tub. Yeah, I could see that. I can see that.
So the Four Seasons room, the screened-in porch, the conversation has they're doing their own show over, which is kind of our show now because we're going to dive into it further, over in the YouTube comments on ESPN Madison's channel, because there's something also called a 3-season room, I'm learning now.
So they shut it down in the winter? Is that what my guess would be?
So Gériade in Canton, Ohio, our French correspondent in Ohio. So John and Gériade are discussing this. So the 4-season room, it's an enclosed porch. It's insulated so that it can be used all 4 seasons. Thank you, John.
Okay.
But 3-season rooms are uninsulated and can be used in the spring, the summer, and fall months.
Sure.
So it's framed in. It's got siding, but it doesn't have the insulation, so it's not warm enough to use in the winter.
And it's not screened. It's not screened, right? So it's like a normal, just kind of a appendage to a house. Would that be the way to kind of describe that, a 3 seasons?
Apparently. Again, I didn't know what a 4 seasons room was, so I'm probably not the guy to ask, but I am intrigued because then Steven says, I love sleeping in a 3-season porch with screens. So now I'm confused again. Does it have screens or not?
You get that fresh air without the bugs at night. I'm just trying to collect information. Yeah, okay, great.
On the talk and text line, the Carbless talk and text line, 844-770-3776 from a 608 number. Again, remember, if you're an early first-time texter, make sure you include your name so we can put you in our contacts. Fans and a little shade keep screened porches comfy. We use ours year-round except for the few real cold days we get anymore. Most 4-season rooms are mostly glass, so pretty much a 3-season room. So, again, I'm learning we don't have any of those. We have a deck. We have a little patio area.
Hey, you got a pool, too.
We do not. When the pool is gone, we've got a volleyball court.
Oh, yeah, volleyball. Okay.
And then we got our little driving range that we've put together where the swing set used to be. It's a fun backyard. I like it. But I don't have a 3-4 seasons room. I don't have a screened-in porch. And that's what Tausch is doing the show from.
Your house is a 4 seasons room. Like your house is. No, it is.
It's what?
Your house needs to be a 4 seasons room. Otherwise,
if it's not, you're in trouble.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Then why isn't a 4 seasons room? Why is it called a 4 seasons room? Why isn't it called just one of the rooms?
I think the big reason is because you don't insulate it the same as one of our texters just put out. A 4 seasons room wants to give you a vibe of it's not really a part of your house, but it's a part of your house. The 4 seasons room is, I am going to experience the season that I'm in. Like your 4 seasons house, got the air conditioner going. Here it's, oh boy, if I go out here and I don't do something special, I'm going to freeze my tuchus off. Or it's going to be super hot because I don't have air conditioning out in said room. That's how that is viewed, Jason.
No heat or air goes to the sunroom 3 seasons, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, I think that's where the clarification is on. There's also usually more windows, so it's more like natural light. It's almost
scenic.
Feels like you're a little more outside as opposed to your regular house.
I think what happens is it's more of a vacation part of your house. It's if you don't want to go, you don't like leaving your house.
I went on vacation to my porch.
You should have one.
This, of all people that not have a 3 or 4 seat, you need to, because this could be like, hey kids, we're going so-and-so. We're just go upstairs and there's our 4 seasons room. Because you won't travel with your, whatever the case. I'm not going to get into all that, but you need to probably have one more so than anybody else. No, I stopped.
Yeah. Okay, well, I feel like I learned something. And a 4 seasons room would be a place where you would put, say, a chair that is affixed to the ceiling that could or could not come crashing down if someone who's heavier set.
This would be a screened in. You wouldn't put a chair like this hanging in a Four Seasons room, but you would a screened-in porch. Like, that's the difference.
All right.
And you know what? You need them insured. American Family Insurance is the place to go. American Family Insurance, a proud sponsor of Wilde and Tausch for almost 100 years. They've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent today at amfam.com.
We have a Three Seasons room with a concrete floor.
Oh, I love that.
Jim on the south side writes on the Carbless Talking text line, in the winter, the sun heats the concrete and the room is usable most of the winter.
I wonder how often Jimmy and the family are out there, though, with a concrete floor in the middle of winter, hoping that the sun is radiating the floor.
Yeah, barefoot.
I'm guessing Jimmy's time in the sun, and maybe I'm wrong, in the winter. Probably, if he didn't have a fireplace in there, I'm guessing his time is pretty limited there. Maybe not.
Well, I feel much smarter. I don't know if I had differentiating between 3 and 4 Seasons rooms and screened-in porches were on the show sheet.
Was not on there. Can confirm.
I know Jesse seems very intrigued by this Caleb Williams story. Is that fair to say?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Well, now I'm intrigued by Hobbs. Like, I really want to know more about Hobbs.
Too bad you missed your window. We'll talk about this Caleb Williams situation. I did read a little more about it. I will say this, Ben Johnson, not a funny guy with his lame joke at Matt LaFleur's expense, but I thought he handled this story pretty well yesterday when he talked about it as well. We'll talk about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Looking for a Milwaukee tradition? It's Saz. And for nearly 50 years, Saz's have been serving up award-winning ribs that'll make your taste buds dance. Don't miss our festival-famous mozzarella marinara, the appetizer that put us on the map and keeps Milwaukee coming back for more. Whether you're heading to a game or just catching up with family and friends, make Saz's your place to go. 55th and State. Saz's, where memories are made and stories are shared, one delicious bite at a time. Saz's State House, the finest. A Milwaukee tradition since 1976.
Spring is here, and your local IKEA store is rolling the savings outdoors for their annual sidewalk sale. Visit IKEA Schaumburg, Bolingbrook, or Oak Creek from May 9th through the 26th for a wide variety of furniture and home furnishing accessories at big discounts. New products are being added throughout the sale, so stop in often, and don't miss IKEA's Friday Mystery Deals May 16th and 23rd, available in-store to IKEA family members. Not an IKEA family member yet? Sign up for free at IKEA.com/US. Save big at the IKEA annual sidewalk sale, going on now through May 26th.
Discover an unreal treasure this May at Potawatomi. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Unreal treasures this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I took a page out of your favorite book. You saw me lies just by the way you look. Taught me a language that I'll never speak. Baby, that ain't for me. That ain't.
Caleb Williams is going to have to wait right alongside Nate Hobbs. Because old T...
Screened in porch?
No. Just sent this along from Albert Breer. Now, again, Bert and I have known each other for a really long time. I think he would be okay with me giving him grief about, we have to be careful about what we can take at face value, because he apparently thinks that Aaron Rodgers and Romeo Doubs are good buddies, and I'm not sure that's accurate. But he's really good at what he does for the MMQB. He just posted this. NFL owners will vote next week to radically change playoff seeding.
Pick your opponent. Let's go. Is he pick your opponent guy?
Doing it strictly by record and reseeding after the first round. They will also vote on the push play, the tush-push proposal, but that for now remains the same as it ever was in March. So, all right, first of all, so we're going to basically do away with divisions.
Yeah,
you're going to play teams in your divisions.
Yep.
But it won't matter for playoff seeding.
Hate it. Hate that part of it. Hate it. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Reseeding after the first round, they do that anyway.
No, they don't.
The hell they don't.
Do they?
The team that has the first round bye plays the lowest seeded remaining team.
Yep.
So, like in the Packers' case, it wasn't a bracket when they upset Dallas.
No. Yeah, you're right. And they had to go play San Fran, the number one seed.
Right.
So, help me understand. Well, then what is Brewer talking about? How are they going to reseed it?
They're going to have like a committee that says, okay, here's the 4 teams remaining, and we say...
Kirk Herbstreit's going to put in some extra SEC teams.
We actually think the Eagles are the best now, and the Lions are number 2 because the Eagles look so good in the wild card round.
Well, they can't reseed and take home field from a top seed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What do they mean reseed, Jason?
I don't know. It's not my report. So I will look into that. But again,
well, it's your buddy Bert's.
I know Bert. Yeah, he does a good job.
Why do they call him Bert? Oh, because it's Albert.
Albert.
I never heard any No, was Bert Blyleven Albert Blyleven?
It's a great question.
Bert be home by 11. What a great nickname, Bert be home by 11.
By the way, according to Wikipedia, Rick, R-I-K, Albert with 2 A's, A-A-L-B-E-R-T, Blyleven.
That's a little bit...
is a Dutch-American former professional baseball pitcher and color commentator, much like you were a color commentator yesterday on baseball.
Yeah, me and Bert.
So apparently, his actual first name, he's Dutch, is like Rick as in Rick Smits, R-I-K, and then Albert with 2 A's. So I guess he is Bert because of Albert. So apologize to Albert Breer. But I don't think the reseeding thing is the headline here. The headline here is that they're going... Now, whether or not they vote in favor of it, I don't know. But this was proposed. The meeting is in Minneapolis, which I didn't realize. Maybe we should go. I don't think they're going to have a Radio Row set up. But the idea of doing away with the significance of winning your division... I don't know, Jim. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that at all. And just because there's been a few instances over the years where a team won its division with a lesser record, I don't think that's enough to change the entire system, but maybe I'm wrong. You're on my side on that, though.
Yeah, the divisional piece to this, I understand there's been times, Seattle way back in the day finished like 7-9. And got a home game and beat a team with a better record. And last year, obviously, Minnesota has a great regular season, falls short of Detroit. They have to go play a road game and get beat. There are going to be times where that is unfortunately the case.
Yeah.
Yes. But to take away the biggest, I guess, the first carrot that teams look at and say, all right, this is what we need to do. You want to stress the importance of regional rivalries. That stuff's important. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. Winning your division needs to continue to be a staple of giving yourself a chance to have the most postseason success. And even if that means a team like the Vikings, who had a great regular season last year, having to go play on the road, hey, tough luck. The division was great last year. Doesn't mean it's going to be great this year. Doesn't mean it won't happen down the road. I don't like that at all. And as far as the reseeding part goes, that's where I would like to find out what does that even mean? And if the NFL really wants to get into the entertainment game, which they do, I plead with them. And I don't know who the person is that is going to head up this amendment to the playoff constitution. But Jason, I want you to go up to Minnesota. If you can, you should go up there. You love the mall. That's one of your things.
I do love the mall.
Why you would not implement a team that wins and earns the number 1 seed, does all the things right, and they get to pick who their opponent is in the divisional round. The drama and everything the NFL is all about, and revenue drive, and Netflix and Amazon, and you don't think people want a little more drama with their sports? They do. So let's figure out a way to do that. This is the way to do it. Let's stop with this. Well, we could do this, and let's get a committee to do this. Jerry Jones, you're the 1 seed with the Dallas Cowboys. You don't want any part of the G&G, even though they're the 7th seed. You can say, you know what, man, I want to get me a chance at the New York Giants. That's who I want to play in the first round of the playoffs in the division. Let's see that happen, and then the outrage, and then the bulletin board material. That is the way forward in the entertainment world that we're living in. Let's get this thing rolling.
All right, so I just want to point this out. If we're being honest about the division issue, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings all ending up with double-digit wins last year was in part because they got to play the worst division in football as their match division, right? I mean, 15-2, 14-3, and 11-6. The Packers went 11-6. They went 10-1 in games outside their division and 1-5 within their division. Mm-hmm. That tells me that they got to play based on how they did against their own division teams, lesser teams outside the division. You cannot make that equal. If you are going to say, well, you get the best record, like there's got to be another element there, doesn't there? Like some sort of like strength of schedule or how else are they going to do this?
Jason,
Because
not everything needs to be tweaked. This is one of those things that because there's something happened, you don't need to overreact. The Packers won the division the year Rodgers bust his collarbone. San Francisco has to come on out to a cold day at Lambeau. And they probably were thinking, this is unfair. We should be playing in Santa Clara. If you're a good enough football team and you had a great regular season, you're going to go beat a bad divisional winner. You're going to. If you're not Super Bowl caliber anyway.
Yeah.
So I think you're sometimes looking for solutions to problems that come up every 10 or 15 years. And the core staple of your league back in the 1920s or whatever year they started this, and it was the Janesville squad and Beloit and all the other cities that had it was a regional thing. It is now a national, international behemoth. Don't lose sight of what gets you to those spots, and that is these fierce rivalries where battling to win a division and getting a home game is a big blanket deal. And when you take that away, you're going to lose a little something, and you're going to water down that back half of the playoff system more than you probably want to. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea.
I love the Decatur Staleys and the Racine Cardinals, that's for sure. I also love, if I was ever driving to Decatur or driving to Racine, I could stop at Quick Trip on my way.
I did this morning. A little Karuba for Old T. Life's busy. Quick Trip gets it. I was craving a fresh coffee. Sooner than I did, hop on into Quick Trip, grab one. You know, also Quick Trip has everything, a variety of apps and meals, and they're ready when you need them to be. Head over to Quick Trip where they're serving up their legendary, no ordinary chicken. Juicy chicken tenders or boneless wings that are hand-breaded, fried to perfection, and ready to go. Grab that Quick Trip crispy chicken sandwich. It's perfect for a quick bite. Or you can get an 8-piece fried chicken meal that feeds the whole crew. Or you can take the challenge, the 4-meal challenge from the rotisserie chicken on Monday. I think I'm going to try it. I am going to go through the process. I'm going to try to get that. And especially now you can get Nature's Touch butter for $2.99. Buns from the Quickery, that's 8-count, 2 for $3. Plus you get bananas and onions and baked potatoes, 29 cents a pound. Head on over to Quick Trip. They got everything you need. They will make your road trip that much easier. Use the Quick Rewards for every visit. Get all kinds of great perks with that. Use the curbside delivery, or pickup at Quick Trip as well. And we will see you next time.
We're supposed to do Where's Wilde next. I don't have the faintest idea what's going to happen next on this show. We'll all find out together with Tausch from his birdcage. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Amber Wilson.
The Heat look like they were right to not want to give Jimmy Butler that money that he wanted to have that seemingly would have been paid for past performance. And that's what these guys always want. And heck, listen, Jimmy went and got that money. So it ends up being a smart move by Jimmy Butler. I'm not saying it wasn't. He forces his way out. He makes a mess, but he ends up getting paid. That's Golden State's bad. Now, I don't know what Golden State does because I think it's pretty obvious. They took a flyer, throw it against the wall. They didn't really have any other options, but I think it's pretty obvious that we are at a point with Steph, even if, yes, you're absolutely right, you let that man play for as long as he's going to play, we're at a point in his career where durability is probably going to be a factor. And Jimmy Butler, another guy of that age, and Draymond, frankly, those guys aren't going to be the answer to fix all your problems because you kind of can't put a Band-Aid on a boo-boo when the Band-Aid is as old as the boo-boo.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay is my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Whether you're a bird enthusiast or simply enjoy the sight and sounds of nature, our Enchanted Garden Songbird Supreme bird food is a must-have year-round. Get a 20-pound bag of Enchanted Garden Songbird Supreme on sale now through May 18th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Wade vs. Diener is about planting seeds of opportunity and watching them grow into something amazing. Join NBA and Marquette stars Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener and be part of this incredible journey at the Champions for Literacy celebration on June 27th. Or register your son or daughter for the Elite Youth Basketball Camp coached by Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener themselves on June 28th. Register at wadevsdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadevsdiener.givesmart.com.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
He's got a Chevrolet that don't always run and the radio never turns down. He's got a pedigree that's no good for nothing, no commas in his bank account. But there's a girl at the hole in the wall where he plays. Don't take her eyes off the stage, she loves his southern drawl from north of Atlanta. That Silverado he got parked outside, loves it. Cranking 89 Alabama.
The time has come.
Hobbsy?
Unless
Caleb?
You have something you'd like to... Before we do...
No, I'm not going to do that again.
In this segment. It may happen later in the program. I don't know what Jesse has for Where's Wilde, but I would like to think that it will lead to some measure of Packers conversation. So let's give that a shot.
Since he often saves his best material for other shows,
if there's something difficult we need to talk about, let's have the conversation.
We're bringing the other shows to us.
I would be very leery if I was a Packers fan.
Or are we?
Tausch takes a lot of days, man.
It's time to play Where's Wilde?
Trying to find out where Jason shared his best material of the week on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves. Where's Wilde?
Certainly not on this show. Am I right?
Rarely have the opportunity to when it comes to Packers on this show. Sick burn, bro.
I'd love to hear more about Hobbs. I know that. I'm curious what Hobbs is up to.
You and a lot of our audience.
We had an opportunity to do so. Here is.
Did we?
We did. Here is Where's Wilde clip number.
Does Nate Hobbs have a Four Seasons room?
Here is Where's Wilde clip Number 1.
One of the guys that I think the world of is John Schneider. They told him when he was in Seattle, he was there multiple times, by the way. He told him, you're going to be a head coach someday in this league. The bottom line is that this is a guy who is a really good football mind, and he's new school as opposed to Tom Clements, who's old school. Like, in Jordan Love's first season as the starter, he could have been in the same quarterback room, not as the coach of it, but as the backup quarterback behind him.
Where's Wilde?
Talking about Sean Mannion.
Mannion. Thought it would be talking about Orlovsky. I think he's on Get Up with Dan Orlovsky. Is that one of the options or not?
That is not.
Hey, whatever happened with that? I wonder if he got that interview.
No, he didn't get the job, though. I know he was thinking about getting into it. I'm going to say that sounded pretty clean. Let's say KBN. I think that's a KBNer.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekdays starting at 2 on ESPN Wisconsin, is Tausch's guess. Jason?
I'm going to guess the Homer Hour with Steve the Homer True.
Weekdays starting at 5 on ESPN Milwaukee at ESPN Beaver Dam. One of you is right, and that one is Jason. The Homer Hour.
Yeah,
I should have known. Yeah, with KBN, you probably wouldn't get into the depth of this. You know, you would probably have gotten into the depth. So that's a mistake by me.
The group thinkers.
I find it interesting, the fact I know Aaron Rodgers when he was the quarterback, I think lamented for a while. He wanted an old quarterback that he could draw experiences from, even though he is the biggest Tom Clements advocate I know. I think that's funny that, Sean Mannion had a journeyman career, and it sounds like he's going to end up being a head football coach. And this was always one of the things I think from Mike McCarthy that I think he missed on. I want to be around guys that are going to become head coaches. I want that leadership part, but I want coaches that other coaches are clamoring to get. I don't want coaches that they're like, oh yeah, Lenny's been there 32 years. He does a good job. I want to I'm going to go get that guy. That's the kind of coach. That's what you're looking for, and hopefully that's what happens with Sean Mannion as Jordan Love elevates. When we get on to Hard Rock and we can look at some futures bets, you get this thing turned around. I would love for LaFleur to start looking at things the way Sean McVay is, where you just get your guys and they keep cycling through, bringing new ideas in for your program, and these young star coaches go on to big things at other places.
So I'm curious, because you obviously played for Joe Philbin, who did not play in the league. You played for Larry Bechtel, who you loved, and he didn't play in the league. You also
fairly
played for...
certain he did. Yeah, I would think he did. He's 5'3", built like a tea kettle. I don't think he played in the end, but maybe I'm wrong.
For the Decatur Staleys.
R.I.P. to my guy.
Yes.
Big back.
Showed him incredible respect. But also, and we know you loved Bechtel. That was a funny joke. But you also played for Campy, who did play in the league. He was Brett Favre's first center with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So is there because no, Sean Mannion was not a starting quarterback for 10 years in the NFL. But Doug Peterson wasn't either. He became a head coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach. As a player, having been one yourself, does it matter if a guy has NFL playing experience? Mike McCarthy didn't have it, right? So how does that, as a player, how much does that matter to you?
I think there's an instant credibility that the coach understands it, but I'm going to tell you this. Players really only care about winning and making money. And if there is a former NFL coach that is empathetic, but you win 5 or 6 games, they're going to be fine with that player coach getting fired. It's about results, and it's about leadership. And I think you want to have former players on your staff. I don't know how many great former big-time players. I'm talking big-time. Deion, obviously, with the success that he's had turning around Colorado. But how many big-time players have ever been big-time coaches in the NFL. Who is the gold standard of that? I'm talking big time. Is there a Mike Ditka is probably the top of the list?
Probably.
And I don't think Ditka wasn't a big X's and O's guy. Today's game is more about X's and O's, I think, than it has ever been. So Andy Reid, I think he could be a great leader of men, but I think his creativity and how he develops an offense is what's made him successful.
Yeah.
And he's a leader and he's got the credibility to do it. But to answer your question, unwieldy-like, which is short, it doesn't matter.
Tony Dungy played in the league. Herm Edwards played in the league. Like, there's plenty of guys that played.
So I put Dungy, Ditka. But I'm talking about, like, Ditka was a Hall of Fame player.
Right.
Dungy was not.
I would also just, as I look at the Packers coaching staff, then we'll get to the next Where's Wilde clip. Matt LaFleur obviously didn't play in the league. Played for the Omaha Beef, which not many head coaches can say they did. But Stenovich was with you in camp, but I'm not even sure how many regular season NFL games he ever played. Luke Butkus went to camp a few times.
Went to camp? Did you say Kemp? He went to camp?
He went to camp.
He went to camp?
Bag. He carried a bag.
He sounded very northeastern there.
But Ben Sermons, Jason Vrabel, like
Jason,
those guys.
I think we've seen this in pretty much all sports, and there is no doubt. I think players that are so elite, they can't get their head wrapped around how other players that aren't as talented as them can't do that, and their patience isn't where it needs to be.
Yep.
I don't want a great player I want the guy that struggled and lamented and understands it, but is smart as a whip. That's what I'm looking for.
And this is where I love to tell the story of sitting down with my childhood idol, Robin Yount, at spring training back when he was their roving hitting instructor, when it was the J.J. Hardy, Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, Corey Hart era, and all those guys swore by him. And I asked him exactly that. I'm like, how are you able to relate with these guys, considering you're a Hall of Famer who has 3,000 hits? And he said, because I had to work my ass off to be good. There are some guys that it comes so naturally to them that they can't coach. And he, because of what it took for him to be the player he was more relatable to those guys, at least in his opinion and in their opinion.
There's something you said there that I am going to start implementing in every phase of my life. I am going to be roving. You can put roving in front of everything, and you can be semi-expert, and you can kind of bounce in and out of. I am a roving fisherman. What does that mean?
Let's be honest, you're a roving host.
Good one.
Where's Wilde?
Next.
Congratulations. You ran 9 minutes of music out on one answer to Where's Wilde. Nicely done. Here.
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Hobbsy.
Here is Where's Wilde clip number 2.
Either way, even though Tausch always messes up this saying, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so either you're running a lengthy gauntlet and then you have a very late buy, or you have an early buy, now you're running that gauntlet late. And again, I would underscore the fact, too, that they use up whatever benefit there is to playing a Thursday night game by ending up with that in week 2. I'm guessing if I was sitting with Matt LaFleur right now, having a Pinot Grigio or whatever it is he drinks, he's probably irritated with how early the bye comes for his team.
Where's Wilde?
Tausch?
You think Matt LaFleur's soft? Is that what you just did right there?
No.
Why didn't you say he's out in his garage having a beer, like a beer, an old Coors Light in a beer fridge?
Because I like saying Pinot Grigio.
Why do we assume that people who drink Pinot Grigio are soft, Tausch?
Jesse, do you think that NFL coaches with a pinky out sipping on a Pinot Grigio on their porch, screened in, is soft or tough? What do you think? You know what you think, and now you're getting skirked, so you don't want to say it. What's the original question here? Because that's all I can think of.
Where did he say this?
Oh, KBN.
Weekday starting at 2 on ESPN Wisconsin is Tausch's guest. Jason.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm in the car, probably on my way to Maddie's track meet. I'm going to say KBN also.
The guess is KBN. Weekdays starting at 2. You both are wrong. That was on the ESPN Wisconsin schedule release special on Wednesday night with Alex Strofe and Gabe Neitzel.
I am getting so fed up with this foolishness. Okay.
You handle disappointment so well.
That's irritating.
All right, you got one more.
Schedule release.
It was on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves.
I'm not arguing with your
criteria of the show.
True.
Jesse,
Strofe and Gabe did a great job
Jesse.
examining the schedule. Jason joined. It was great insight on Wednesday night for those who wanted that content.
All right, I get it. I don't have to like it, but I get it. Next. It's just not fair. The Packers never get any home games. Oh, it's not fair. The Packers get too many home games to start the season. Who said that? Baby Wilde on Wilde and Tausch earlier this week.
I'm not playing.
Let's see if Tausch can get on the board with this. This should be an easy one.
I'm good, guys. I have to use my golf announcer voice as Sydney is playing in her first golf tournament this afternoon. So I only have a few minutes for you today, and I'll be doing it like Jim Nantz at the Masters. Hello, friends.
Where's Wilde?
Oh, my God. You are so...
She was...
The annoying
by the way, she
hour.
was so good. She
The
was
annoying hour.
She played really well.
The
I'm really
annoying
proud of her.
hour.
What did she shoot?
She shot a 55 in her first 9-hole course match or tournament. She finished 20th out of 65 kids.
That's
having
very
never
good.
been on a big boy course before.
Upper
That is very
echelon,
good.
yeah.
Would you have beaten her if you played same tees at the same course?
I would say this: there was not a lot of water and not a lot of woods.
So you would.
So I feel like I would have done. I might have gotten like a 51. So yeah, I don't know, but
Are you not going to do this strictly because you don't want to be proven right or wrong? Like I'm just so dumbfounded. Like this is a hill that you refuse to climb. This isn't.
And this
going
is
up to Middleton.
this is a
Hold
hill
up.
that
This
you
isn't
continue to
going-
drag me to at every opportunity. Maybe that's why.
No,
Like
that's not
you
why.
brought up.
That's not
Like
why.
here's what you do. You're such a jackwagon.
Okay.
Like we're talking about how excited we are for the AmFam Championship and
Yep.
the new course, the TPC Wisconsin, and of course
ain't breaking-
we
you
can't
ain't
even
breaking
talk about
200
golf.
there.
You have to say.
You ain't
No, it
breaking
has
200
nothing
there.
to do with the conversation. There's no way you're breaking 200 there.
You're not. You're not. I want to see you try. I do. I want to see you try.
Well, maybe your motivational techniques are lacking.
No, you need to be pushed, and nobody pushes you in life. You just coast along. Someone needs to push you, and I'm going to be the shover.
And you're
of
just
this.
the guy to do it. I will say this.
What are you looking at?
That's right, guys.
Jesse gives me that look like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
It was the
How's
Damn
that?
Sports Show on ESPN Beaver Dam, weekdays at 4 o'clock with Corey and Wally. Nice
That's
Oh,
what
one.
no, it was
discussed.
actually Wally and Corey's schedule release show that was later that day on Beaver Dam.
I would just. I've. How many segments of this hour do we have left now? I've completely
One
lost
more
track.
to go.
Hobbsy.
Okay.
We got the Hobbsy hour.
Yeah,
coming
right.
up.
I would like to thank you for bringing up your need for a driver earlier in the week. Because my buddy Sean Rizachek from TaylorMade was inundated with texts that he had been mentioned on our program. He was traveling. And now it reminded me that I need to get clubs so I can play. So thank you for your service.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
So when are we going out trying to the break for 200? When is that episode? That will be on Breeze Radio?
At what point do you see yourself no longer discussing this?
Never.
That may
Once
increase
we
the
do it.
likelihood.
Once we go out and do it, how fun is that going to be? Jesse
Okay.
will do play-by-play, and we're just going to have a walk. We'll take a beat, we'll have a walk, and we'll grab a lunch. How fun does that sound?
Not as fun as the Memorial Day sale, which is underway right now at Steinhafels. Save 10% off store-wide. Plus, get amazing deals like a Sealy mattress for just $199. Desks starting at $449. And queen beds starting at only $629. Plus, you'll save up to $1,000 on patio furniture, and you can take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month, 0% financing. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader, and they're 100% employee-owned. So shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Jesse, I want to make sure that we're on the same page here because we're so excited about having Vortex Golf on board with the rangefinder and the swag bag that this week's trivia winner will receive. When would you like to do trivia? Because I know Michael in the YouTube comments gets irritated, but we're really proud of trivia. We love trivia, and I don't want to forget to do it, and I really don't want to do end of show trivia because that's when we do Feel Good Friday.
Well, since we just talked so much Packers during that segment, I think it's good now to step away and do Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf right now. I think this is a good time for it.
I thought we might be in sync there. All right, what's the category? What caller do you want?
Per Tausch's request, the NHL playoffs is today's trivia category. So we're talking sports next segment. Caller, I don't know, seven game series. Let's do caller 7.
All right, caller 7 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 7 plays trivia. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
The people there made it a really great trip. The people in Green Bay were really nice, like literally driving ESPN people around themselves.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
The Pancake Palace in Green Bay was outstanding. So really nice trip.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Brewers fans, this is your chance for you and your crew to cheer on our crew while they're on the road this summer. Visit brewers.com/ExploreMN to enter for your chance to win Game Day Getaway Sweepstakes. Presented by Explore Minnesota. One lucky winner will receive 4 tickets to the games on July 21st and 22nd in Minneapolis, 2 nights of hotel accommodations, and a $1,500 Visa gift card. Don't wait, the sweepstakes ends May 29th. No purchase necessary. See brewers.com/ExploreMN for official rules.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
After back-to-back shutout losses, the Brewers offense finally came to play in a 9-5 win over the Cleveland Indians to salvage the finale of their 3-game set. Big day at the plate for Rhys Hoskins, who drove in 5 runs on 4 hits, including his 7th home run of the season after an umpire review.
Hoskins waits the 2-1, drilled deep, left center field, way back. That's up towards that big green wall up there. It hit off the top of it. That got out.
Review, call overturned. It's a home run.
It's a home run, Rhys Hoskins.
The crew finished their 6-game road trip 2-4. They're back home at AmFam Field Friday night to start a 3-game weekend set against the Minnesota Twins.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Spring Vintage Weekend with the SVRA is up next on May 16th through the 18th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Trivia. And time to be reminded of what an awesome new opportunity our trivia winners have to win from Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Vortex Golf, they've got binos, they've got swag bags, they've got rangefinders. Tausch, do you generally use a rangefinder?
I do.
Are those legal in tournaments?
I don't play tournaments, so I don't know.
Are they legal if you're trying to break 200 at TPC?
I believe it is a legal tool to use in tournaments. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's a standard piece of golf equipment. You just kind of
made me feel bad, Jason. I had a couple people text me saying, lay off of Jason. And I'm like, all right.
Who texted you? Who is standing in support of me?
Nobody.
Who? You just made that up.
No, I did get it. I did get some texts on it, and you don't know who they are, so it doesn't really matter. The bottom line on it is, I'm going to stop with it, even though I think you should do it. I think it'd be great for content. It'd be great for you. And I'm irritated that I guess Jesse, am I coming off as a bully on this?
A little bit.
All right.
But also, I think Jason should do it.
It's a fine line, then. I'm not 100% sure how to handle that. Because I don't want to be a bully.
Boy, this Caleb Williams story is really something. All right, let's get to trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. Don't feel bad. You're just a jerk.
Listen, I don't feel really bad about it. But I do like to get kind of checked. I like it.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Amen.
Let's welcome in our contestant because he is a first-time contestant. It is Joe in Milwaukee, who I don't think is the same as up north Joe. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
2 questions, unless Tausch has other ones that he'd like to interrupt with. 1, are you a golfer? So would the Vortex Golf rangefinder and swag bag help you?
I could probably get below 200, I think, yeah.
Well, we all have goals. Nicely done.
Nelly!
You fit in well here, Joe.
Not to be a bully, Joe, but do you think Jason can?
I haven't seen him golf. I'm not really sure.
Smart answer there. better than I'm presented as being on the program. Let's just leave it at that. Second, what do you know a lot about hockey?
Enough, I think. We'll find out, I guess.
I was just going to say, well, we're about to find out because the category is the NHL playoffs. Tausch, from your sunroom, 3 seasons, whatever it is, room, are you participating in this or are you just going to listen?
I'm out.
Classic.
That's what I thought. Indeed. All right, Joe, here's question 1.
Ask for the category and doesn't even play.
Yeah, it's on brand, wouldn't you think? The good news is he's leaning back in his birdcage chair, so you can barely see him at this point. All you can see is the Cardinal hat. Question 1, Joe. Which all-time great NHL player, along with the rest of his team, was eliminated from the NHL playoffs last night in Game 5 of their second round series? Was it Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, or Wayne Gretzky Jr.?
We'll go with Ovechkin.
1 for 1. Question 2. A lot of losing here. Question 2.
Only one team wins it, Jason.
I understand.
Negative Nelly, they call him when it comes to hockey.
Indeed. Much like the Sun Prairie East Cardinals in that baseball game you called yesterday. 2-1. Great game. Which team that lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final last year, this one's a winning question, advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the second straight season with an overtime victory on Wednesday night? Was it the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, or the Winnipeg Jets?
We'll do the Oilers.
2 for 2. Question 3, and a chance at a clean sweep and 4 entries for the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag is this. Which remaining team in the NHL playoffs plays its home games at the Lenovo Center, which I think is the kind of ThinkPad, iPad computer.
It's a computer.
Yeah. Is it the Florida Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Let's go for the Hurricanes.
So, Jesse, are you telling me that it's Edmonton, Florida, Carolina, and Toronto that are still left?
One series is not done yet.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's, Florida and Toronto are still playing.
Okay.
Carolina has advanced, Edmonton has advanced, and actually Dallas and Winnipeg are still playing too. So they're still in it. Yeah, Winnipeg survived last night.
Canadian correspondents, the Klinkster, cheering for those Winnipeg Jets. And we were cheering for you, Joe, and you nailed it. All 3 questions correct. You got 4 entries into the drawing, which we're going to do when we lead into Whoa Nelly at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Love you guys.
I love you guys.
I love the fact that he's a first-time contestant, but he knows enough about the show to drop a love you guys. Love it.
I love that you love that.
I know that you also love Bucky Badger, that cute rascal, and your newfound membership at UW Credit Union.
It's not that new anymore. We're chomping away here. Not as long as you, of course, as Mr. Topper over here has always got to top it. Jason, every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, OT, why did you join UW Credit Union? It's to keep your banking local. Yep. Is it member first service? Absolutely. I love great perks. That's another reason. But between us, I just love Bucky. You can't say no to that little rascal. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but boy, does this make sense. Become a UW Credit Union member like me and get your Bucky card. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We've made it through one full show, I think, yesterday, and now 2/3 of a show today. I mean, of course, we've talked about baseball play-by-play and color commentary and Tausch's rock pillow that he's got his iPad on and the sunroom concept. But I think it's been since Wednesday that we even brought up Giannis Antetokounmpo. That is about to change when we kick off the 11 o'clock
breaking
hour.
News? Is there something breaking that I didn't see?
No. But we are going to talk a little bit about him because that's what people are talking about, and we'll do it in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your Honda gets you.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
Beat the tariffs this month at Cunis. Get your tariff-free car, truck, or SUV before they're gone. All current in-stock new vehicles are not affected. Plus, take advantage of employee pricing and huge manufacturer discounts on select brands and models. Shop from over 2,800 cars, trucks, and SUVs group-wide from 18 new vehicle brands. Our loan experts will work to get you our best interest rate possible. And our Fresh Start financing program can help you get approved regardless of your credit. Plus, you're covered by our lifetime no-fear powertrain warranty, included with qualified new and pre-owned vehicle purchases. Visit your local Cunis dealership today for your tariff-free vehicle while they last. But don't wait, because once they're gone, they're gone. With over 30 locations across the Midwest, there's sure to be a Cunis location near you. Start your search online at shopcunis.com. That's shopkunes.com.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes. I'm not going down that easily. So don't give up.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with some Giannis talk. Now, I don't want to be that guy. And let's be honest, frequently I am that guy who annoys people. But I don't want to be the guy who, well, we got to talk Giannis because, well, everybody's talking about Giannis, which is a lot of hot air at this point because no one knows, right? We don't know. He doesn't even know. He's just open-minded, reportedly. But Brian Windhorst, as Jesse writes in the rundown, whose weight does not need to be mentioned during this analysis, said something interesting.
Just wait a second. Why did you bring that up, Jesse?
because you felt the need to bring it up the other day when we were talking about Giannis and Windy and speculation about his future. You may recall that you said, heavy-set fella and so on and so forth, and we didn't need to do that. So we're not.
Fair enough.
We're not doing that this time.
But you just did by not.
Well, I did, and I would just say
Jason
this:
did.
I would not have brought up his weight in any way because I'm a heavier set guy too. I wouldn't have brought it up though. But Jesse wrote specifically that it didn't need to be brought up, so I brought it up by pointing out that Jesse wrote that it didn't have to be brought up.
Okay.
He was on Unsportsmanlike this morning, and Jesse and I, having listened to it, when I wasn't watching GMA, which I missed the big interview with Bill Belichick. Did he talk about his 24-year-old girlfriend on Good Morning America? I don't know. I missed it. But
why does that bother everybody so much?
I don't know. I think it's bothersome.
It's fascinating.
No, I think what
Is
it
it?
is.
I
think what it is, in my opinion.
Well, De Niro is dating and he had a kid at like 80. Like that to me, having a kid at 80, dating a 25-year-old as a 70-something, like to me, De Niro's story should be a heck of a lot more talked about than Bill Belichick.
I don't want to speak for the people that find it interesting. I'm not among them, but I do believe.
You just brought it up, so.
No, I was bringing up Good Morning America because that's where I normally do my prep work, as I've discussed on the show, and I missed this interview. I think what's interesting is that he seems like such a control freak and someone who is so about all the minute details. No one tells Bill Belichick what to do. And then you have this 60 Minutes interview and you have these other things where it seems now, because he's with a woman who's 24 years old, she's kind of running his operation. And that seems odd. That someone who would not let anybody tell him what to do is now, because he's with a very young lady, is now being told what to do.
Let me tell you something. Slippery slope. This little conversation is going down. I think most of us understand how the world works sometimes, Jason. I think we all understand. Oh, he's a control freak. Oh, it might not
until
be the
he's
only.
not.
I was just saying, you can take control a lot of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that you get into. Bottom line is he going to end up coaching at North Carolina? All that other stuff is fun, Us Weekly type stuff, not really pertinent when it comes to football.
I hope they're happy together. I'm sure.
No, you don't.
I'm sure their relationship is predicated purely on love and mutual respect. All right.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I do. Yes.
You ever wonder what they talk about though?
Whoa,
you think they're talking about like the 3 technique at North Carolina? You got to get this.
I don't wonder what they talk about. I don't care what they talk about.
Well, you just brought it up.
I brought up Good Morning America.
Well, Good Morning America didn't. I would have not known that Bill Belichick was on there talking about his girlfriend.
I don't know if he did because I missed it.
So how did we get here then? I know I didn't.
Because I heard
bring this up.
Because I didn't watch Good Morning America this morning, because I saw Unsportsmanlike and I saw Windy and what he said that Jesse will play now.
I don't think it's 100% he's leaving Milwaukee. Do I think it's maybe headed in that direction? Do I think it's more likely now than it's ever been? Yes. Do I think it's a done deal? No. But here's what I would say this. If Giannis were to call me up and ask for my consultation on what to do, I would probably advise him to leave Milwaukee, which I'd not say flippantly, but I would say East. Stay East. Look at the Western Conference. The Western Conference is a beast, and the number 1 pick just went to the West. The number 2 pick just went to the West. Those 2 teams are going to get stronger. If I were Giannis, I would say either Milwaukee is where I want to be, and I just want to be a Buck for life, or send me some team to the East.
Here's my issue, because I thought that was really interesting, and he used the same technique that I like to use, which is if Jair called me, my advice would be, even though both Windy knows that Giannis ain't calling and I know Jair ain't calling, where are you trading him in the East? And if you're the Bucks, is that where you want to be trading him to? Like, I felt, I don't know about you, but after hearing that, I know he says it's more likely than ever and that he would advise him to go. I'm convinced he's going to get to the end of the yellow brick road here, and he's going to realize that wherever he goes instead is probably not going to be guaranteed to be better. Certainly not long term, probably short term. But I don't think Giannis thinks short term. I think he thinks long term. But where's he going to go in the East? They're going to trade him to Boston?
I think he should call Belichick's girlfriend up and ask her what he should do. What Wendy just said there is nothing. There is nothing of any substance. He didn't talk to anybody. He is giving his personal opinion about what he might do if someone that is never going to call him calls him. There isn't any news there.
I do that.
There's nothing there. So I don't get, what are we even doing? There's no news.
Jesse, I never said it was news. I said it was interesting.
He never said it was news. You thought it was news. You even asked before the top of the hour break,
is it breaking
this
news?
And we said no, it's specifically not news.
So then what the hell are we talking about it for?
Well, you offered Giannis advice the other day. He's not going to call you and ask.
You don't know that.
Oh, I think I know that.
Brian Windhorst is one of the most respected. By your own accord, Brian Windhorst is one of the most respected NBA reporters in the game right now.
And heavy set.
He's very insightful in.
Yes, he is.
That's irrelevant. He's very insightful into the goings on of LeBron James in player movement across the league. Mm-hmm. He called the move for the Jazz with the last a couple of years ago. He's on stuff. So if he's saying stuff and speculating, usually it's worth at least considering what he has to say.
I'm not arguing that, but we're sitting here and acting like there's anything different. We got after it because Shams brought this up, and I think everybody that understands anything is looking at it and saying this is a time everybody should evaluate the situation. What's happened the last 3 years hasn't worked for Milwaukee. They're paying a ton of extra money. You are fine doing that if you're getting results. You're not. So now, if I'm Giannis and I'm 30 years old, I see that, hey, I still have a career ahead of me, but I don't want to be sitting here in a rebuild and playing a year without my Robin next to me because his Achilles is popped. This is the time to do it. And I don't mind Wendy, going into where they should and shouldn't go. But I guess I just felt like you two put this you guys elevated this up to something that was bigger than it was. If it's just Wendy saying, okay, great. This had the vibe to me as if this was some new information, which all I'm saying is it's not. I told you that the Brooklyn Nets were going to be interested. There is something there. And I'm not Wendy. Okay? The idea of going to Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio because of the taxes, because of that is a component, and there's assets that the Bucks could get that would be very intriguing. Those are your options to me. You're looking at it. Giannis is going to drive the bus on this.
So you're saying that the Nets, because here are the 15 teams, including the Bucks, that are in the East. Stop me if I ever get to one that you're like, oh, if I was Giannis, that would make sense to me.
Okay, well, so but before you even do that, this is the part that
you weren't going to do that anymore.
I'm not going to disparage Wendy. I'm not disparaging guys that haven't played, that cover sports, because there are many people are much better at it. I just saw Kevin Durant getting after somebody because they don't cover football and they don't do this. I don't buy into that philosophy. But what I do buy into is some people don't get the mindset. They think they do, but if you're not in the arena, you don't. Do you really think that Giannis Antetokounmpo, who believes in his mind he is the best player in the world, gives two rips about going to be the path of least? I'd rather go to Toronto and pay 100 times more in taxes because maybe the East is a little softer? Or do you think Giannis is looking like, I'm really good, and if I go play with AD in Dallas, we're going to be really good, and we're going to win the whole blanking thing? You ever think he's looking at it saying, boy, Wendy's right, the East is a little softer? That is not how Giannis Antetokounmpo will ever think. So that part is complete rubbish. And Wendy, I don't know what the... Wendy has that is just not going to ever be a part of the DNA of championship big boy players. It just isn't.
Great point. Awesome point. I also.
Oh, I don't know, boy. Brooklyn's in the Atlantic, and they're not. You think Giannis is breaking
Brooklyn's
down?
in the Atlantic.
It's Atlantic division.
I know. I didn't expect you to be dropping divisions.
Do you really think that Giannis is going to get a spreadsheet out and break down? Well, this team's kind of weak, and they don't have a draft pick until the night.
Wait, is that your Giannis?
No, this is my Windy. This is my Windy. My Giannis being Windy. Giannis, you think Giannis is breaking down Orlando's compensatory picks that they might get? And oh boy, I don't want to be in that conference.
Because I'm sorry,
Orlando
I'm not listening anymore because of your Giannis. Windy as Giannis. Giannis is windy. Finkel is Einhorn.
I'm not going to go to New Orleans because it's west of the Mississippi. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on.
Why does
I've got a spreadsheet on my.
Why does he sound like a goblin?
Just picture Giannis being afraid. And he's been MVP. He's just had his best statistical career ever. And you're telling me he is I'm all shook up because Denver picked up a third wing that might be added to their rotation. And we just can't beat the Denver Nuggets because they added a third wing. Get out of Dodge with that loser's mentality. Come on.
Cavs could use him.
Oh, that Goldie, our teammate, saying they won't trade Mobley for Giannis. Come on now. Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm going to sit back in my bird cage.
And have yourself a Coors Light while you're sitting back in your bird cage.
Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. I can't go out there. They picked up a fifth swing guy. They can't go to Denver. That's out west. Yeah, out east, young man. You ever hear any great frontiersmen say that? I didn't either. Coors Light brewed with...
Are you talking to yourself now in your read? Did you ever hear any great frontiersmen say that? No, I didn't. I didn't either.
This baseball game wrecked him last night.
I'm going to have some Coors Lights this afternoon while I'm playing golf, having a great time, and I'm going to celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Speaking of the baseball game, we will hear... dare I say the highlights?
The dumbest thing he's ever heard me say is how he teased this.
That's how it was teased. Yes, I can't wait to hear it.
I can't believe that whole ordeal there is something else.
Well, we'll all hear it together. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers?
baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
After back-to-back shutout losses, the Brewers offense finally came to play in a 9-5 win over the Cleveland Indians to salvage the finale of their 3-game set. Big day at the plate for Rhys Hoskins, who drove in 5 runs on 4 hits, including his 7th home run of the season after an umpire review.
Hoskins waits the 2-1, drilled deep, left center field, way back. That's up towards that big green wall up there. It hit off the top of it. That got out.
Review, call overturned. It's a home run.
It's a home run, Rhys Hoskins.
The crew finished their 6-game road trip 2-4. They're back home at AmFam Field Friday night to start a 3-game weekend set against the Minnesota Twins.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Hey Wisconsin, it's your pal Donald Driver here. For 10 years, I've been working with the Wisconsin DOT to get everyone to wear their seatbelt. And it's working. Nearly 90% of Wisconsin drivers buckle up, which makes me want to say to the ones who don't, come on, man. If you don't wear your seatbelt, you're going nowhere fast. Buckle up. If you don't, it can cost you money or a lot worse. Click it or ticket, and let's work together to save lives. Take my driving safety quiz at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
I know that 1 in 10 veterans struggle daily with mental health issues. Suicide is a real risk. If you or someone you love is struggling today, you are not alone. Support is at reachoutwis.org to find local resources available for you and your loved ones. Reach out today.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Love me to my bones. All this time I wasted. You were right there all along. You and I start gazing intertwining souls. We were never strangers.
All right, so we'll save the highlights for Whoa Nelly. I want to hear more because I did not get to watch the game from start to finish, so I'm sure I missed some pretty good lines in there from the play-by-play guy and the color analyst. But you can't have Tausch make a proclamation like he did and not pay off that tease. What did you call it? The stupidest thing ever said by a play-by-play announcer? Yes. I don't want to misquote you.
Yeah, and maybe I need to specify more. I know baseball's long. You know, high school games are 7 innings. Major league games, 9 innings. So there is a lot of time to have discussions, to have these conversations, to have thoughts, to make takes, to have things said that are crazy. There's good storytelling. But I heard something last night that a play-by-play guy made a statement that I think universally everybody will say is the dumbest thing a play-by-play announcer has ever said in the history of PXP.
Well, you like that. I noticed you saw that from me in the YouTube comments, PXP.
Yeah, I like that. It was fun. And we appreciate it. We gave you a shout out on air.
I heard it.
Jesse, without further ado, I will let you explain your take after we hear what I believe is the dumbest thing I've ever heard on a radio broadcast of a baseball game.
We join the action in the 4th inning after a hit-by pitch for one of the Sun Prairie East batters.
Now, we don't joke about head injuries, but if you get hit in the arm or something, you say, we got ice. Find a way to get on base.
I actually always found getting hit in the helmet was the best place to get hit. We had a coach that told us that.
I disagree. It's got to be the tuchus.
The tuchus isn't bad either.
If you get drilled why would you want to get hit in the head compared to getting hit in the tuchus?
By the way, foul ball here for Tristan Fry, the number 5 hitter, standing in for Sun Prairie East.
Sometimes you say
No,
stuff.
honest to goodness, I was sliding in from third going home one time, took a drill
You'd
shot.
rather have a kid throwing 90 miles an hour drill you in the head?
There was a hard-throwing first baseman who threw one straight off the back of my helmet. It popped up, went over the net, out of play behind home plate. I didn't feel a thing.
I'm
Hit me
tell
square
you
on the
this.
helmet.
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
No,
you said some doozies.
Honest to goodness, the helmet is a great spot to get hit.
The helmet is a great spot to get hit.
So, Jesse, just so we're all on the same page. First off, Van Vogler, the cleanup hitter for Sun Prairie, his dad, Vogsy, is a frequent pickleball partner of mine. He gets hit in the head. Jesse thinks he got hit in the arm. So, again, our Vistage point wasn't great last night. I say he got drilled in the head. So he goes down. So that starts the conversation. And then Jesse has the gall.
He didn't go down. He was fine and started to take his base at first. And they said, hang on, let's just check, make sure.
He was
there's
mad.
Concussion protocol.
First off, by the way, it was an 0-2 pitch. The guy drilled him in the head. But that I just...
Caught a break.
So
Best
Jesse
place to get hit.
Jesse thinks he'd rather have Nolan Ryan throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and drill him in the head than to hit him in the tuchus. It's the best. He said this. It is the best place to get hit with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball is the helmet. I can't think of something dumber for someone to say.
So I did not say with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but thank you for...
And Nolan Ryan ain't throwing in the 100s anymore.
And I also didn't
How do you know?
Because he's like 80 years old.
So what? Dude, he would throw 200 pitches a game. Nolan Ryan ain't built like everybody else. Nolan Ryan's special. Continue.
It's true. He's 78.
If I may.
Hopefully he's throwing his age.
I was at the Brewers-Marlins game several years ago when Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the head by a pitch, and it was a very scary situation. I am not arguing that getting hit straight on the head is a safe thing. That would be stupid.
It'd be one of the stupidest things ever said by a player.
Literally for verbatim what you just said.
No, what I said verbatim was getting hit on the helmet is the best place to get hit, which is then what I said from my experience playing Little League Baseball. Running home, got drilled, and I've been hit in the back. I've been hit on the leg. As an umpire, I've taken some hits different places, and they all hurt.
And the you-know-whats?
When you take one, whether you're behind the plate.
No, Jesse told me he didn't wear a cup when he umped, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
And I never took one in the you-know-whats. Never took one there. When you get hit square on the helmet, as I did, and this was a big kid that threw this he was play at home plate. I was sliding in, and he threw it a little off kilter. He had a bunch of heat, didn't control it very well, went straight off my helmet and went up and out of play. I didn't feel a thing because of the padding of the helmet and how safe it is. Boom, up, didn't feel it at all. And we had a coach who said if you're going to lean into one, if you're going to get hit, sometimes it's better to duck down a little bit and take it off the helmet than it is to get hit in the neck or on the shoulder or anything like that. Helmet is a great spot to get hit.
Doesn't sound like great advice.
This was also, it was almost 20 years ago, so maybe things have changed.
And Little League, which might the velocity might have been a little different than high school baseball.
Could be. Yeah. But it's the advice that I always follow.
I appreciate that you usually side with me, Jesse. Allegedly because you're afraid of me. But this one is a hard one to defend. The comp of the throw to the plate as you're sliding versus getting hit by a pitched, 85-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm glad that Tausch's buddy's son was okay. I also enjoyed that had a very Tom Brenneman feel to it. Right? Where he's, I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself on being a man of faith.
There's nothing to do.
And there's no,
does
just
not
wait.
feel like
I'm
where
not
I want
done.
No, there's no.
Could have picked somebody else.
And I'm not done. Stop.
Okay, well.
Because it's not no. Because then he's in the middle of his apology when he says, and there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos. And Jesse, while he's trying to explain why it's okay to get hit in the head, points out, and there's a foul ball by Smith or whatever he says there. That was the count.
By the way, foul ball here for Tristan Fry, the number 5 hitter, standing in for Sun Prairie East.
Sometimes you say something.
Yes. No apologies necessary like Tom had to make, but the aside about the foul ball while Tausch is telling you you're an idiot was also enjoyable.
Not sure I'll ever put that headset on again.
Is it better to get hit in the headset or the you-know-whats? That was great. I would assume that was the low point of the broadcast.
No,
the first inning was by far
the first inning. It's 100% the low point of the broadcast.
Not even close.
Yeah, not even in the ballpark.
So we have some more of the highlights, if that's what I'm supposed to call them. Are there some more moments similar to this one too? Because that I'm all here for that.
There's one or two that we could definitely play if you're interested in such things.
I'm interested. That'll take over Wonelli.
You can watch the full game broadcast back on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. It is there. I think actually we had, because of that gust of wind that blew all my papers away, the top of the first inning got scrubbed from the reel. It's the lost inning. So the action is resumed in the bottom of the first with Sun Prairie East having a 1-0 lead. That's how the game starts on YouTube. So that for some reason, the 20 minutes at the top of the first inning where we had all our disaster, it was scrubbed from the reel.
Oh,
it's gone. I didn't do it. It just. I think we had an issue on site with the camera almost got tipped, which Tausch doesn't believe, all that stuff. So the top of the first went the way of the white buffalo.
All right. Well, we will hear some more of those highlights during Wonelli. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid in a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Save big on your landscaping project at Menards. We're your destination for concrete landscaping blocks. Whether you're installing a patio or adding a new retaining wall, we have the largest in-stock selection ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast using our landscape design program in-store or on Menards.com. Save big on landscape blocks when you shop at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of me earning rewards on all the purchases I make with Educators Credit Union's debit card. Whether I'm buying groceries, putting gas in my car, or knocking down pins at the bowling alley, I can earn major rewards points. I can redeem my points for cashback, gift cards, concert tickets, travel experiences, and a whole lot more. Join Educators Credit Union and start earning today at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. With summer just around the corner, Wisconsin Harley-Davidson is gearing up for another year of riding adventures. Join them May 17th for their annual Bikes, Blessings, and the VFW. Start the summer off with a Bike Blessing on May 24th. Their annual honor celebration is happening with a ride to Wisconsin Memorial Park to place flags to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Both events will have live music, food, and so much more. For more information, go to WISHD.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Save big money on your next staining project right now at Menards. Pittsburgh's Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Exterior Stain and Sealant in 1 can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in 1 day. Save big on Ultra Advanced Exterior Stain and Sealant. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Before we get to more of the highlights from the broadcast on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel of the Cardinals strikeout cancer game, Jesse, I'm just curious, how many chips do we have in the cheese fry helmet for this week's Vortex Golf?
Quite a few in there this week.
Yeah, we had a lot of correct answers. It was a good week.
Mm-hmm. Good week for the contestants. A lot of the a couple of first-time contestants, but also a lot of the wily old veterans coming back to play this week because this prize pack is so good. They might have taken some time off for a while, but they were back in it this week. So we draw our winner for the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag. Triple digits estimated retail price. This is a big prize, and it's coming the way of Jay in Pewaukee, yesterday's contestant.
Oh, I missed it.
He only got one question right yesterday.
Wow.
But as you said to another contestant earlier this week, Jason, all you need is one to be in. And that's all Jay had, and that's all he needed to win the Vortex Golf
It's like the
prize
Mavericks
pack.
winning the lottery. Or maybe not.
Kind of, yeah.
Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocco's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
What I learned in my experience last night is, number one, try to avoid calling games outside the press box. And number two, I think we all should have more appreciation for Matt LePay.
Wow. Wow.
There was a moment when I called a high school football game with Dennis Semrau a few years back that we played on this show where he left me in the dust. There was a touchdown on the far end of the field. Edgewood was wearing jerseys you couldn't read very well.
Oh, I remember this clip.
I said, touchdown Crusaders. Dennis said, did you see who that was? Well, in the bottom of the first inning last night, pivotal moment in the game it turned out to be. Jesse and Tausch on the call. Feinberg, line drive, left field. It's down for a base hit. Rounding third comes Look. Here's the throw. Cut off, throw home, and they got him by a mile. Beautiful. Down goes Look at home plate, and down goes Middleton in the bottom of the first. The final out made at the plate, trying to stretch home from second. I don't know. I can't tell you.
Tell you this.
It might have been Sogstad out there.
Nice job by the left fielder of coming up. I think it was Soggy.
Soggy? Oh, Songster.
It was Clune.
First inning, and it wasn't even right. Yeah, it was Alex Clune who made the great play out in left field.
Well, that'll be a clip that his family will want to listen to many times.
Mr. Sun Prairie Baseball. I know this team. Hey, who was that out there?
I couldn't tell because the jersey's embroidered. It was so... listen, Jesse, the color guy is going to analyze what's going on. The play-by-play guy's got to know the names. They do. You know that. And you didn't. And I didn't want to put it on you, but you've got to give some love to the guy. He made a great throw. And again, the key, as I said, if you'd have kept letting the analysis go, you have to keep those throws low. You got to keep them low so that they can be cut. Tristan Fry does a nice job at third base. He's got his body turned the right way, so he catches, throws it home to Manny, the catcher, and boom, 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 and a big play in that game. And I'll tell you what, Jesse was obsessed with the wind. The wind and how it affected the throws. He must have mentioned the wind and how much it would help throwing guys out, pitching, at least 100 times in that broadcast.
I don't know if you noticed, it was a significant factor for all involved in the game last night,
including the announcer crew.
Oh, I don't know, except for the fact that the catcher was throwing into the wind, and he threw out everybody that stole last night.
Whoa, Nelly!
Did it really have that big of an effect? I don't know, Jim.
What do they say? Not only in broadcast booths, in radio shows, like always be there to cover for your other hosts. You know, if Jason has to step away, you want to make sure Tausch is able to riff for a second. If Jason's battling some technical issues, if Tausch disconnects, we're going to continue on without you. Or I don't know, leaves for the trivia segment. We're good, you know? So naturally, I would expect the same from you in our booth last night, right?
Yep.
Didn't get
I think because of our positioning here, as this game has gone on, it rained before we got started, and now the dirt is, starting to pick up. No, I'm choking on it. I've been choking for an inning and a half here.
That's good stuff right there. What exactly did you want me to do there? Did you want me to start calling the pitches?
So I could go get the bottle of water.
I said, are you okay? You're gagging on dirt, man. I'm not sure. What the heck did you want me to do?
Provide analysis. Fill some airtime.
So, Jesse, the whole point of this montage, there was some really funny back and forth. Jesse is trying to make himself look good and bring me down in this montage that he's doing. I don't like that, Jesse. I don't like that one bit.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't worry. It wasn't just me. You threw other people under the bus during the broadcast last night as well.
Oh, great. Who else?
Gamboli's still out there on the mound for Sun Prairie East.
Well, Danny Hannon, who is a big-timer in the Sun Prairie youth baseball community, asks, can we position the camera a little higher to get more into the sun, Hunter? So, Dan Hannon from Bristol.
Danny in Bristol's been a great contributor to Wilde and Tausch over the years.
Some constructive feedback, Hunter. And Dan, just so I know you're listening, you got flipped off.
You.
What?
Great to have you in the booth last night. That was fun. Everything I expected.
Couldn't you have copied Danny's text to you and then texted it to Hunter instead of saying it on the air?
What do you mean? You know why the
didn't even cross his mind.
Why would I not just say it? I thought it was fun. I mean, there's nothing we could do about it. The sun is where it is. You know, we were pretty limited with what we could do camera-wise. You know what, Jesse? That is not fair because I know Hunter is very sensitive. I'm well aware. He might be more sensitive than you and Jason. I tell Hunter does a great job, and I have made sure to tell him that because I believe it.
You mentioned it several times last night.
Yes.
Just not in the fourth inning.
Do we want to be interactive or not? Do we want to talk and listen to our fans, or do we want to ignore them? I want to bring them in. That was what was on the chat that I don't know why I could all of a sudden see the chat last night. I can't during the show,
miracle.
But I could see it last night. Weird, huh?
I'm just glad that you guys did that. Again, if you are If you missed out on the broadcast, you can find it on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The entirety is there. There are some pretty
Except
funny
the top
moments.
of the first.
Yes, exactly. It was enjoyable. I got a kick out of it, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in and watched it live as well. We need to wrap up the weekend, wrap up the show with Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow-up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
From on the court to in the classroom and in the community, the Champions for Literacy celebration with Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener will be an evening you don't want to miss. It's a party with a purpose. Hang out with stars and friends and make an impact by raising funds for literacy, setting kids on a path towards college and beyond. Join Wade and Diener on June 27th at the Garage at the Harley-Davidson Museum. Get tickets and full event information right now at wadevsdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadevsdiener.givesmart.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Born and
going to go long here. Time for Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. We start with Tausch and the game that he and Jesse called yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun. Jesse and I, we had a lot of laughs out there, and it was one of the things I love about high school sports is the community. It brings everybody together, and you have Middleton and Sun Prairie who are big-time rivals. Doesn't matter what sport. The Cards want to beat the Cards. That's just how this goes. And I love the fact they, a while ago, decided to come together and to have this game. They alternate, so next year Sun Prairie will host, and they, as a group, come together. They work together. They get auction items, and they raise money for cancer research. I love that. It is everything that's great about sports. So kudos to the Sun Prairie and Middleton communities for doing this year in and year out.
Amen. Two quick things from me. One, speaking of auctions, casting4kids.org. Our friend Marco Siki has his annual event to support UW Carbone Cancer Center and the AmFam Children's Hospital. Casting4kids.org. You can bid on some of the items that are still there and obviously get out on a boat. And secondly, congratulations and thank you for your service to Brian Anderson. I was watching him and Stan Van Gundy call his last game of an NBA season because obviously the NBA is leaving TNT. That means we get more Brian Anderson and we'll get him at Roland Garros, which obviously our tennis correspondent Mark Tauscher will get to enjoy.
Can he do Cardinals versus Cancer next week?
Would he like to do it with Tausch and be interrupted by him? That's it for us today. We will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Be good.